one of the things, again, that has to be emphasized is the effect that religion can have on people for the good. Obviously, Marr only tries to find how it makes people foolish and stupid or evil. And likewise, what he ignores is the effect that non-belief can have on people for the bad. In a new book that came out relatively recently, Rabbi David Wolpe, called Why Faith Matters, says that for a period of time during his teen years, he was very influenced by the writings of Bertrand Russell. Russell was easily the most eloquent atheist philosopher of the 20th century. He was certainly, if not more so, the Christopher Hitchens of his day. And Wolpe fell under his sway, but one of the things that ultimately turned Wolpe around was the realization that Russell had been married 3 or 4 times, was estranged from his children. And he wondered, when you read a philosopher, you expect some accord between his philosophy and the way he lives his life. So here was Russell, who was expert on ridiculing one aspect of another after religion, but had nothing to offer. It was empty. It was empty. One senses, I don't know, maybe I'm being unfair to Bill Maher, but can he say something positive about what he does believe in? And if he is concerned with issues of goodness, does he have any philosophic basis? Russell was honest enough to admit that. He said, I cannot see how to refute the argument for the subjectivity of all ethical values, but I refuse to accept that the only thing wrong with wanton cruelty is that I don't like it. But the truth of the matter is, take God out of the picture, and the only thing wrong with wanton cruelty is that Bertrand Russell doesn't like it, but other people do like it. And to say that bad things have been done in the name of God underscores that God is a very powerful idea. But to say it without acknowledging that equally and even worse things have been done in the name of no religion at all, no God at all, because then there is no reason for any constraint. So if there is no God, who's to say what's right or wrong? Human beings. Because if there is no God, there's nothing higher in the universe than human beings. But which group of human beings has the right to assert what's right and wrong? So every human being has an equal right to assert it. And Hitler not only asserted it, but he got a large percentage of Germans to back him. And so to naively imagine that if we just eliminate God and religion, we're going to go back to some Garden of Eden. Well, actually, atheists are not going to use that example. We're going to go to a wonderful world, so betrays a lack of knowledge of history and a lack of knowledge of the human propensity for violence that it's demoralizing. I think it's Frost who said something to the effect, the poet, before you tear down a fence, know why it was first put up. If he's so confident about getting rid of the idea of God, he should check out societies that have no idea of God and make sure that there's something so special. America has basically been built on the notion that there is a God before whom we have responsibility. And to speak as if that is irrelevant and has nothing to do with America having developed not a perfect society, but a society far better than others. You see, he plays a trick. It's like when people want to criticize America. If you compare America to the rest of the world, it's a pretty wonderful society. If you compare America to utopia, it stinks. And that's, in a sense, what Maher is doing. He's just trying to make religion look stupid and something that's awful without offering any alternatives. And it's not reasonable, and I think it'll lead to tragedy. We know in the history of the Jewish community, Jews who dropped belief in God 50, 60, 70, 80 years ago were disproportionately way overrepresented as communists. At the time that many Jews were angry at Germans for supporting Hitler, among secular Jews, a large percentage supported Stalin, whose moral record was comparable to Hitler's. And this has to be taken seriously, not just dismissed with one-liners. And Bill Maher, based on this movie, is not capable of more than one-liners.